This is what the 2-year course will look like for you, should you pursue legal studies all the way from Year 11 to Year 12. In Semester 1, that is this semester, we begin with the foundations of Australian legal and political system. This means we're going to look at everything that makes Australia Australia when it comes to the legal system, the court system, and our politics as well. And this is really important because it gives us the understanding from which to build on later on when we look at crime and then we look at Australia's place in the global sphere. This will also continue on to rights and freedoms. We're going to look at different rights that you have as human beings and as Australian citizens. And we're going to look at the freedoms that the law gives us. In Semester 2, we're going to be looking at the crime unit. That is, we're going to be looking at everything to do with the criminal justice system. That'll take us on to looking at sentencing, incarceration, prisons, and detention, particularly for young people. Semester 1 in Year 12 will start with a focus on international crime and conflict, as well as terrorism. You'll be performing a mock United Nations assessment task where you'll be given a country from around the world, and you'll be basically sitting around with the rest of the class arguing over a particular proposal to the United Nations. It's a really fun assessment task. I can't wait until you get the opportunity to have a go at it. That'll take us on to our relationships with the rest of the world, that is through the UN and other treaties as well. And that'll have a nice segue into the final unit. Semester 2, where you can see their Unit 5 is labelled, begins with a small unit based on civil law. That is, when someone says, I'm going to sue you, basically what that means is I'm going to use civil law to try to recoup some of the losses that I've suffered. So it's not criminal law, which you'll have looked at in Semester 2 to Year 11, it's civil law. It's also known as torts, and we're going to be looking at that for about 4 or 5 weeks and have a little exam or assessment task based on that. The last part of Year 12, that is the last 10 or so weeks, will be based around something called a negotiated study unit. What this means is at the end of the year, you'll be presenting, or you'll be choosing rather, a topic or an idea that you are passionate about. Now, by the end of Year 12, you will be passionate about something. There'll be something that jumps out at you that we haven't studied explicitly that might be interesting, or something you want to change in the world, or something you just think needs public attention. Some examples from this year, 2018, include live export laws, legalization of cannabis in the ACT, abortion and euthanasia laws, identification of cybercrime, and sports gambling in the digital realm. The idea is that you'll be spending time working with your teacher to develop towards this panel presentation in front of a team of experts from the community that could include lawyers, politics officials, including politicians and legislation experts, members of the community like CEOs, prominent members of the community, other teachers, principals, etc. It's a really interesting unit and gives you a lot of freedom in how you study. These are some of the activities and general methods that we'll use in legal studies. We're not limited to these, but these just might give you an idea about what we expect in legal studies and what will be happening. A lot of legal studies focuses on this idea of sharing of knowledge and discussion. So you'll see a lot of group discussion and class discussion and debate. We're a big fan of peer review and peer interaction because it's one thing for us to tell you to fix something, but it's certainly another thing to sit down with a friend and identify strengths and weaknesses in your own documents and own work. So apart from these GLOs or GLOs, these are some of the things that you'll expect to see in legal studies over the next 2 years. So you might be asking, how do I pass legal studies? Well, the expectations across Gungahlin College are pretty standard, that you attend 90% of classes, including any flex work that we'll talk about during week 1, as well as completing all of your assessment items. Now, as you can see here, there are 2 30% tasks, a presentation task and a written extended response, that'll be a take-home task, as well as a final end of semester examination or test. Now, part of passing legal studies is that you also have to watch these GLOs or these GLOs. If you don't, you won't be up to speed with the work that we're doing in class and you'll get lost. If you struggle with this, whether it's internet access at home, access to technology, or you're falling behind because of other stuff going on, whether it's work, academia, or home stuff, come and talk to your teacher. We're happy to work with you and figure out a way that you can access this information. So, how are you going to do well at legal studies? There's a whole manner of ways that you can pursue self-focus, self-reflection and evaluation to improve yourself. Essentially, we want you to attend every single class. We understand that you sometimes can't get here. Mum's ill, you have to look after her, you're sick. There's something happening that's stopping you from getting here. But we expect those to be the rare cases. You need to complete all flex work that's provided to you. It's not an opportunity just to blow off class for an hour or two. It's work set out for you that's expected to be completed. Same with the GLOs. If you miss a class, it's up to you to catch up on it. All of these presentations will be up on Google Classroom, and you'll be able to follow along by subscribing to our channel. But really, if you miss something, you need to either come and approach the teacher, or even better yet, talk to your peers, find out what happened and how you can access the notes of the activities that you missed. Now, take your notes as well. We'll do some note studying sessions and I'll film some how-to videos about how to access and write your own notes. I'm not going to go through the rest of these now, you can read them. But essentially, it's engage fully in the course, right? You want to be here, you want to be successful, challenge yourself, commit. You can do it. And that's it for this video. If you got any more questions, send me an email at this email address or come and see me. Thanks for watching.